this channel is groovy and you'd like to show your support, well, there are a few things that you can do. Find that like button, give it just a playful little smack, and subscribe and join the channel. And let's hit the like button now.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just level up, don't be scared. Turning back, I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just level up, don't be scared.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I sincerely thank you very much.
Well, hearty welcome and a warm thank you to anybody that might be tuning into this, whether you're watching this live or maybe you're taking in and watching this later. If you could hit that like button, that does help this tiny little channel reach a broader market. 2 years in, and I am very happy to have and very grateful for the 1,434 subs that we have here. The other reason I'm coming in, I was hoping to actually go before she broke the trend line. She was showing signs that it was a coming. Even though she was bouncing off of it, the signs were there that she's getting ready to fall. It didn't quite make it, but here we are. So let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin. This is going to affect our altcoins. So if you're looking for some short setups, they may be happening there. I don't know that that's what I'm going to possibly be playing at the moment. Just how I got things set up. So there might be some shorts in altcoins, but do remember, since we broke a trend line, we got a chance to come back up somewhere in 60,300, 250-ish to those areas before we roll over again. That's a scenario you may be seeing. So if you're caught with your pants down in something, you got a chance for a little bit of a come up, and then maybe you can alleviate some of that pain if you're in a long that just kind of went bad. You know, we were looking, and we mentioned this last night. This little thing that was it was looking like something. Was it? No, we're in a bigger. It's happening on the bigger time frame too. I think it's a little fractal, but this little pattern to follow here, it ended up taking on the little diamond shape if you're into the pattern trading, which is a reversal pattern. And finding this on support, well, that's a good thing. And it says that we could bounce and come back up to the areas where we started, about 61, 67. Didn't quite make it up there. There were some signs, if you're following my channel, with some moving averages that I use, and even on the smaller time frame where I just kind of track this. This is a 6-minute time frame. I just watched this for the interim to see what's going on in the short term. I make my plans on bigger time frames. I think that's very critical for me to announce and throw out there. But in the breakout of this diamond pattern, we had a nice strong trend line, and now we don't. So this upward move is probably down. It can come down, and we can eventually make it up through here. When you get a breakout of patterns, there's always a great chance that she comes back and retests the breakout area. And currently, that's sitting around 59,300-ish. I don't even have a line there. Let's draw a little line there. Paint her white, just as, you know, we could see that. That's just how this plays out. It's already coming up and went through the first area that I had that it could have found some possible support. Now, how I got that was a fib area, but that's not one, especially if you're getting ready to bust a trend line and break it, that's probably not going to stick. So I think it was probably better if I put that one as a cautionary. Now these other two are strong for sticking. The 59,500, 59,100, those are good areas that we can stick. And you see that we got a 200 moving average that we're starting to break down below here. 360 moving average is giving us confluence at this area. So 59.5, I think, looked like a decent area where we could stick. And when I say stick, you know, eventually what we'd really like is see a bounce here, and then we'll just go up and say, oh, well, that was the day. That was a correction. It may not, you know, that's the hopeful way to look at it. And sometimes she may just kind of level out here and then dip on down to these other areas. We don't know. She's already got the ball starting to roll in a negative way here, losing this trend line. And we got to establish, well, a higher low. And technically, that's anywhere above 57,900. Could be anywhere above 58.8. We don't know yet. Signs are pointing that 59.5 might be into it. But what does this do for the altcoins? And that's basically what we're going to be looking for. For this show, all I'm doing basically is I'm getting ready to post some possible trade setups to Telegram. Now, I don't know if they're going to be longs or shorts. I kind of favor longs, can say, and I'm long-term insightful, but you know, there might be some short-term shorts is what the market is telling me here. If we look at total 3, which is what I always like to do before I start messing with altcoins, it's me testing the weather and the atmosphere. What's going on? Is it raining? Is the wind blowing? Is the wind strong? Is it going to be a horrible day today? Total 3 kind of gives us clues on that, and that's why it's important to see what's going on here. And by gosh darn it, we've broken a trend line on it too. Let's go ahead and identify that. She got rejected at this 600 and something moving average, the old Lucy line, which corresponds with these tops over here. We just can't get above. So we ranging, basically. And total 3 is coming down. Now, I'm usually watch it over here on this particular chart. And you can see we had that channel idea going there too. We lost it. This green line right there is the key fib area, or I wouldn't have it there. And we came down, we broke below it, we went up to try to retest it, and now it's acting as support. It's a bearish retest in my opinion, possibly playing out on this guy. So we might see altcoins roll over, especially as Bitcoin dominance is bouncing off of a trend line here and starting to go up. Because when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that's usually a sign of people getting out of altcoins, or traditionally bigger players or whatever getting out of altcoins and moving a little bit more over into Bitcoin and possibly even to stablecoin. And there shows a little bit of that activity going over here if we follow these stablecoin dominance guidelines or indices over here. So, you know, the altcoins are looking a little iffy right now. Now, you can look at that as being, oh, there's going to be some gooder buy areas that maybe I can add to an existing position, which is the mindset I'm coming from, or the more of the angle I'm coming from. Or you can look at it as, oh, let's just open up some shorts and make some of that good quick money. which I'm not coming from, but that can play out in the TA that we're going to be looking at today. So altcoins drop on the smaller time frame. Now let's chill out and look at the bigger time frames. What's going on? Because even though we got this angle and channel idea, it's kind of sloppy because we don't have some real solid price action. If I carry that angle and put it back down to this channel body over here and let that be my guide, you can see we haven't really totally broken out of this channel just yet. So, ooh. Will the shorts play out? You got to keep these things in mind here. If they do, there could be a nice big drop, but there's also some signs here. But I might just decide to bounce off of here and just go back up and ruin every one of your dang shorts, because that's what I like to do. We got that possibility going on because remember, 4 hour, we had that buy sign over here, 50 crossing the 200. That's a very bullish sign. And even though you may not see it play out, you may be sitting there saying, oh, that sucks, Road Dog. Look what happened with that buy signal. We dump. Yeah, that's why I interpret it as, maybe it's not buy now when it happens. Maybe it's buy the next pullback, and we had a hellacious pullback. And we can bounce right back up there to that 50. Which would make your shorts just go, oh, I don't know what happened. That didn't make any sense. It looked so embarrassing, then it just went up. Well, we don't want to be caught in on that, do we? So this is why we zoom out a little bit and kind of get a feel for the market. I'm looking at MACD. This is one of the key indicators I look at. Now she's doing a little upside down duck lips. It looks like she's getting ready to flip and go bullish. It could. It's going to be a turnaround. Maybe altcoins are going to start turning around on us. Channel idea. Remember, we discovered we're at the bottom of a channel, and that idea can hold. Or she might be rolling over, and we've been losing that channel idea. The confirmations are not there, so you're front running. Whichever, if you're bullish or bearish, you're going to be front running these ideas right now because the confirmation's not there. But just the way the market structure works, I'm leaning more toward a rollover. I'm looking for these suckers to come down. I'm just saying. But you just said there's another channel. There is. You be mindful of it. That is on the extreme. But the majority of your play is coming in within here. Ichimoku Cloud is also giving me some little. She's whispering in my ear. I'm going to try to roll you over. So it's going to be, if you're shorting and you're opening new shorts, it may be a little risky at this point. I'm just saying. Tight stops would probably be your friends, but it might be the play to make. Personally, for me, I'm just looking at some more bottom juicy places to add to my bags, because when the things does turn around, that's when I start getting paid. I don't mind taking a little drawdown to add my positions, but that's just my take. There's still lots of little lower areas that suggest that we can go if we go with this whole channel idea. All right, so let's give a quick shout out to anybody who might actually be hanging out with me today. Okay, and we got Mr. Miles, who was first, and we got Joe, who was also first. Let's start getting into some altcoins. There's a few that look like they might be a little short ready. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tokenmetrics over here. I updated this. The worst daily performers is no sign of Hive Mapper, that's the Honeycoin, Rollbit, Flux, and Stacks are taking a little bit of a hit, but not much. We're talking between 1% and 3% down. Recently turned bearish for you little shorters and bearish lovers out there. Turbos with an S. Maker, I don't even know what that is. Vulcan Forge, I'm familiar with that. We'll look at that one. Bolt, which is Voltage Finance, I believe, in Steam. Things I'm just not even normally looking at and don't even really give a crap about. You can see that our market indicators got us at a strong sell, so it's very bearish right now. So if you're looking for this is the time to buy and get in, well, it's saying don't do it. Don't do it just yet. Are you curious about the next 100x coin? Well, let's hit that button and see what it says. Sometimes this is just kind of fun. Why not? It's saying Lootbot. Loot could be a potential candidate for a 100x token. Just throwing that out there. Do your own research, do your own chart, because I'm probably not going to look at it right now. We'll take a look at Pyre. PYR, see if there's any kind of shorting opportunity going on here. What's that going on, Pyre? I want to turn on a few little extra moving averages. Oh, they are on. They're just not showing up. Okay. But she's still safe, in my personal opinion, right now, going from the candle bodies to candle bodies. Didn't quite do it there. Beneath it did. Always checking for channels, and you know, this one's had a candle body underneath. When I line it up there, was a support and now resistance for that channel. I agree with that idea. Now, this is normally bearish in nature. Just saying, it's more likely to break to the downside at some point. It may not be now. If it did go now, we would take a measured move, and that suggests that we might get a lower low. That's kind of scary. A possibility going down to $2.02 area. It's like going to happen though, dog. You know, there's no, I don't personally see the signs just yet. We're a little early. You want to play with your trend line angles and stuff. You, from this candle body over here, see it dump below and then eventually broke back in and went strong move. Could we look for something? It could, or it could roll over. The extent of the channel, from what I've got, we're at the bottom where it's normally a place where I look at starting to buy, right? And these are some places that I actually look to long. Because my risk to reward ratio is so much more in my favor, and especially where, you know, we got these wicks over here. Put stop loss below that and see if you got anything, and it does look very possible. I like that. That's 3% stop loss risk to reward ratio just to get back up to where we just came from would be a 7-to-1. That's highly doable, even if you don't have enough confidence for that. Looking at the 618. Because we have a tendency to go there. We got a 50 moving average hanging up there. We'll probably say hello to that one again. That would still give you a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio just to go there. That is 11% gains just on spot. If you put a little leverage, I would, on altcoins, I'm saying 3%. You can still get liquidated with 3%. So it doesn't sound like much, but you would be. If you're coming from those 50x and 40x plays, you're probably used to getting wiped out a lot. You don't get wiped out as much with the lower level. You'd be surprised at the gains that you can make if you play that. It all depends on your position size and how you do it. But to me, I see more of a long than a short. There's no confirmations here for a short yet. You'd be front running that idea, and it may work for you. God bless you. And you may be kings of the day. You know, maybe not today or tomorrow, but right now the signs are not there. We're still respecting the not moving average. So unfortunately for Pyre or PYR, Vulcan Forge is the name of it. This is one where I would be looking for positive buying. I'm going to throw this out there because that's a good little trade setup. Should we do two of these guys? One with a higher target, because I like that higher target myself. If she breaks below this trend line, which is a little sloppy when you look at the wicks there, maybe you want to move it down and respect those angles. It does respect the angles, by the way. Meaning this is probably the correct way to go. So if it goes below 259, stop loss about 258, you'd be safe. That would be what I would look at. And I like this. Let's throw this in. This is on a 4-hour time frame. So a couple of take profit areas just right below $3 and right over here about $3.25. Let's go and put this one over. We found a positive trade setup, a long idea. Share with the group. which, if you're not familiar with the Road Dog trading community, is a free community. I don't charge for it. There's no $99 a month over here, anything like that. And this stream today is me being active and posting over there. The whole purpose for this stream today is so that I can go over here to our trade setups and start posting some charts, adding some value to that group. All right, so we got PYR for hour. This is a long idea because I probably need to look at the chart while I type over here. So to sum this up, price is potentially as possibly as at the bottom of a possible channel idea. It's technically a bearish channel, which could find support and move toward the top of the channel. I like the risk to reward. And that's about all I'm going to say because it just takes too much to break it down on here. We wanted to process the idea is that if you do click over there, if you haven't seen the stream, then you can pop over here and check out the stream and you can get all the juicy little details of it, I guess, because I'm not going to sit here and type out a big old lecture on it. So 299, 350, 325 look like good targets to me. On the flip side, she loses if she gets stopped out. I mean, that we take our lumps and move on. That's the game plan. Some of us suck at taking those lumps and don't put those stop losses. So it'll turn around. You probably get your butt handed to you a little bit, especially if you're using leverage. It could also be a spot play, but the gains here, you know, they're there. But you know, if I was doing it for a spot play, I would be looking for. Oh, look, there was a failed trade setup up here. Trying to play these ideas. Tight stop losses saves your asses when they kick in, so there you go. I don't know. I could have moved this. I don't know what's going on over here, honestly. I can't remember. But this one we got right here looks good. I like it. I think it could hit. All right, let's move over to another one. Now, Stacks is also showing in the negative. Is there a short idea there? I was expecting to find a short idea with Pyre, with Vulcan Forge, but I didn't. Is there a short idea with Vulcan Forge? What are you doing since we looked at you? She's also got that little shape. Got some new ideas there. She's holding a trend line. Let us take into account the new information we got. Nicely held channel there now that we got more information. Take our angles, and it seems to be respecting it. Notice the moving averages, and this is why I'm not yet bullish on things yet, or not mega bullish on things yet. Is that we got 800, 600, 300, 200. They are flipped in sequential bearish order. That's the momentum is bearish. Even though price is going up, the momentum is still bearish. And so when price comes up to these average places, well, it's getting weighted down and tanked down. Now eventually it can level out as we, more time goes by, and we can regain them and eventually flip them, and that may be what we're starting to see now. But in the meantime, it's going to be, my personal opinion, choppy as hell, and it's just not time for them to take off just yet. I do like this little shape here that we've got, and we've talked about on the channel. It's not official shape, but although on Bitcoin it looked to have formed a diamond, and it does give you some diamond feels if you want to look at it that way. I just usually look at diamonds as being at a bottom, and I don't know, maybe you can think of it as a local bottom idea. But they're normally kind of sloppy patterns, but when they break out, there's always the chance for a retest. And if you're looking at that idea, the breakout would have been right around through this area where we're finding support. So is this just the normal retest of a diamond pattern? It could be. Keep that idea in mind. I think the pattern traders that I see, I don't see enough of them talk about the value of an actual retest. And that's an important concept in any kind of trading strategy. If you miss the move, the initial move, and everybody's, oh, we're going to the moon, and you're like, oh gosh darn it, I missed it, I wasn't paying attention, wasn't set up. You a lot of times, not every time, you get that second chance. That's cool, especially when we're in the choppy phases of the market. We're not just on that full gung-ho book. Bitcoin is on that that Sonic Inu, or that Sonic run up. We've not gotten that market now. We will. There will be that one day we wake up and Bitcoin is just going, and she's not coming. She's not turning back. She's not turning back. We're close to that point after the halving to expect that. And so I advise you on your Bitcoin, you want to make sure you got some, because that's going to happen in the next few months. We're going to start seeing that, and it's going to take off and not look back. The market likes to lull us to sleep in those in between times. I gotta say, Stacks, I'm seeing more signs that she can bounce than not on the 4 hour. Let me go to bigger time frame and see what it says. Now, if I'm reading Ichimoku Cloud, she's topping off right here. See the top level of this cloud? It's not my go-to to read it, but I look for it for confluence. That's at 155, saying that might be the level that we kind of hit and bounce off of. And we did wick down there, and that's that same area that we had for this diamond idea. If you want to play that, it looks a little bit different here. Your trend line's down. It doesn't work out as well for us. We're in the daily time frame. Before she came in on the 4 hour, looked kind of nice. I know you just gotta. Is that the idea you're going with? Does it make sense? To me, that's some confluence ideas. So I'm actually going to do another long setup. Call me crazy. Let's do it on the 4 hour. Because the risk to reward is better for a long than it is for a short. Until we start breaking some trend lines, there's no reason to look at shorting. And I know. Look. The MACD says, baby, I might be ready to wind one on you to the downside. Maybe it's. So these are some of the things I'm paying attention to. 8 hours rounding out a little bit. So is the 6 hour and the 4 hour. So this is for the same time frame that we're doing this chart setup on, and this is my first warning signal. Hey man, you want to go bullish? Well, what if I keep doing this? What if I roll over? And maybe that's why we got a stop loss if we want to play this game, because 1 hour's kind of supporting that idea. So there's some caution in the wind here for this long idea that we're looking at. So what else have we got? What is bearish here? We're beneath a red or a green cloud. Not usually good. If it was beneath a red cloud, I would be kind of like, and touching the red cloud, I'd feel a little bit more. I would like that better. We're finding support at 100 after cross the 200. That's actually good. We're below the 9. That's the bearish part for this particular time frame. So the wishy-washy, there's some definite wishy-washy signs, but what are you going to do with it? Either you believe in the idea that we can be bouncing off the bottom of this and you take that risk, or you sit around, I don't know, and either one of them can be fine. You don't have to take the trade. If it's not a convincing trade, then don't trade it. The ones that are short, that you got the most conviction on, are the ones that you're likely to do the best on. Let's be conservative on this, and let's just go with that 618 and see if we got anything that's worth looking at. Because she's at least got a good chance to come up there, at least come up back to half of the channel. Is there a trade idea here? I mean, there is. Is it worth taking? That's 2%. Would be your risk reward ratio, or your stop loss. Will give you a 2% stop loss, which is gorgeous. Especially, I mean, for spot and even for some leverage play. And leverage is where it starts getting away from you. So if you were doing like a 3x, you would be risking maybe 6%, 6 to 7%. Not bad. That's reasonable. That's doable. And of course, that would mean buying it, and I think where price is right now, because she is actually down to here at the bottom, near that trend line. So if I were going to play it, yeah, I might finagle and jump in right now. It's got right at a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio right up there too. What is that, $1.74? All right, might be something here. We're below the 9, so we got that not really going against us, but we do have the 100 crossing the 200, the 50 being above here. Suggests to me we could probably go back up to the 50 moving average area. Might even come up here and talk to Lucy again. Who knows? So there is a weak trade, I would say that, but at a place where I like to get in, which is, well, it's on the bottoms of the trend lines. Possible long here on the 4 hour. Remember, trying to go short. The only short thing that I would feel comfortable with is when you lose this area of support and then it officially becomes resistance. So it involves closing some candles below here. So dipping to about just a few cents away, 4 cents away. If it goes down 4 cents and then starts hanging out there, there might be that short idea. Now that would look juicy. That could take you to the measure move of this guy. But we're not looking at that idea because we don't have any confluence or any suggestions that that's even a thing right now. Other than a few bears crosses and possible rejections, but we just don't have enough information saying, yeah, baby, I'm ready to do it that way. But there could be a short down to 117 possible. Just saying. All right, so we found one in stacks, which is Tokenmetrics has flipping on and being a little bit bearish. This one's a good one to be in, I think. If you stake this one, it pays you in Bitcoin, and that's what I'm doing with it. I'm actually trying to. This is on one of my position trades where I try to build up big bags on these lows, every lows that we get, and hopefully come out with more to add to my staking bag because I like making Bitcoin. It's like having a Bitcoin miner. I'm looking, and then when I consider the price of stacks when I got into it, I'm like, oh, that was a good deal. Because we was looking at stacks below 50 cents and everything, and then staking that, it's like, man, I'm getting miner rewards. It's like if I bought me one of them big ass miners, I'm getting those kind of rewards monthly just from staking it. I'm like, I like that idea. I'm thinking about building out a little mining farm, especially during this next bear market, and because that's when the machines get cheap, nobody wants them. Like, Bitcoin sucks, it's like a scam, and that's the best time to do things when nobody's wanting it. But right now, just staking stacks is doing really good rewards. I'm like, I want to play with this ecosystem for a while. Did we copy you and put you over here? Do we need these guys? I don't think we need those guys. This is based mostly on price action anyway. And of course, the moving averages, they help a lot. Yeah, we got you over here. I just gotta start typing something. So STX 4 hour. See daytime. Looking for more details. Another possible. For a possible long idea. Can short if channel. For a long with patience. All right, because this one, since we're below this green cloud, that's saying you're going to have to be patient on this one. This one can be choppy, slow, and look indecisive before it gets back up there. So it's not going to be the strongest move in my personal opinion. She's got some stuff to figure out down here, but it says that target could be up there, and it'll be a 10% gain is all it is to that target. Coming up to the areas that we can get back to be about 15% gain. So a 3x gives you a 30% gain with a possible 7% stop loss if you think of it that way, and 3x is plenty to do on an altcoin, especially one that's trading at these lower prices. And we got Dave P hanging out. Glad to have you here. Let's see if we can find a few more. I was looking at Flux, and you know, these are ones that are supposed to be, you know, looking for short ideas. I'm not finding the short ideas. I'm actually finding long ideas. Are you just biased, Road Dog? Well, I hope not, but I mean, we're seriously just looking at what the chart says. And I'm just seeing retest of a 200 moving average on a lot of them. Let's go from the wiki wick to the candle bodies, because it looks like the angles would be respected, and let me zoom up here and just, and maybe you can see it that way. It's got a little bit of an edge there, right? And when you go from the wicks, it kind of respects that edge pretty much. More so than not. And it can also go to the candle. When I pull from a wick, I like to go for the candle bodies. Or if I pull from a candle body, I like to go to a candle body. So you got some variations here when you start looking at this trend line theory. I mean, there's some different angles, right? So it's one of the first things that I like to do is try to determine if there is a channel, because price is usually in some form of channel. You just got to find it. And not as great on that one. This one has a little bit more bite to it, so I'm gonna go with this one. It's not great. Because I'm aligned up to candle body and then it doesn't quite get it. What if we just went by that? You can also do that. I mean, and I can just line it up this way and just use this angle. Sometimes I do that. How does that work out for you? Well, you just drag it down and see where she does. What's she doing? There's a little something there, but it's not perfect. So, and as more information comes out, then we get more precise with it. Moving averages are looking. Ichimoku Cloud looks rough. I'm not going to lie. Ichimoku Cloud looks like, let's play with your head for a little bit. But moving averages, man, we got the 100 crossing the 200. And a lot of times we can see some bearish action with that. I'm usually looking for price up at the top when that happens and it comes down to meet it. But here, you know, we could possibly just bounce because all the other moving averages are above the 200. That's kind of like having a little anti-gravity effect to kind of lift us. It's like when you get some air under your parachute or your whatever you're flying. Get some air under your wings there. Give you a little lift. That's the best we can do. It divides that. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing here. It's finding a good entry just yet. But for me, the momentum looks mostly up, except for the bigger end. The bigger ones are flipped wrong. Well, that's not great. I'm not really liking this one. I'm not seeing anything that's making me feel too great about it. Oh, here we go in the smaller time frame, 1 hour. We got Lucy down here, and the 800. She's below the 800. It's broken. Yeah, this one, there might be a... Ooh, why would you be bearish when the other ones are not? Clear you out for a minute. Then zoom out. When she just looks confusing as all get out or whatever, and things just not clear cut for you, I'm like, can I get it? Zoom out. Let's find out what's really going on. So 4 hours, you know, it's kind of janky. Zoom out. 886 retracement. That always that possibility, but I would kind of doubt it. Makes me look at this little guy right here. about 51 cents. We're just 3 cents away from it. You got this double bottom idea going on that had, if you were just going with the measure move from there, you're like, I feel cheated. Because she just kept on going. One of those ideas where your fibs could have helped you out. She went from a deep astro trade all the way to 886. Good for you. That was a good strong move there, actually. Now on the bigger time frames, I'm liking what I'm seeing now. This cloud. I'll be real with you. There's that little sliver of green, and we're right in a little window right here. It says, maybe I like this. This to me looks a little bit more bullish because we got some moving averages above the 800 over here. So it tells me that we could just be ranging between 50 and 70 cents, basically. Not a bad place to pull out this little bar, not the bars thing, the fixed volume range. And it is also suggesting a little bit of bullishness given the point of control. This turns out the bigger moving averages. Point of control is down here, but we get past it, and then it's suggesting 70 cents as well as part of their range. I find that totally be legit. And it's suggesting, that we should break back up above 55 to be back in that range. So you got that idea too. To me, if I had to bet on it, if she doesn't bounce where she's at, and she could, but I think we might have something there. If I was going to do something, I would be putting a long setup. There might be a short to go from 53 to 51 cents, but what's your risk reward on that? Because it's likely that she will find a 618 and a support resistance area. That's just a given for a great place to buy. So zooming out on the daily tells me if we're a little patient, we might actually have a long setup coming on this one. Where are you, long setup? So I don't know that these trade setups will just wow you and say, "Oh, that was so great," but you at least get the thought processes that I go through when I'm looking at them, and what I think is important, and what I need to do when I'm not getting good information, and those ideas. Your risk to reward ratio could be pretty cool. 3% might do it. What about 49, 48? If you can swing that, a 5% one. That would be safer in my personal opinion. Go below these wicks over here that we got. Not as likely to get stopped out right there. And if you do, well, that's probably a sign that something bigger and lower is coming. And you probably don't want to be part of that nasty move either. Actual entry bin right here, about 51.1. I like that. That's about a 4-to-1 risk ratio just to get back up to where we've been before. We can finagle this even better once we determine if we got down there, but it's if I were to go from that high to where I think it's going to be a low, the target that we're at is at a 618 area right here, and that I like that idea. 23% possible gains coming out of it. But that's me kind of looking into the future a little bit. It's not confirmed, but I think it makes a good target. Now now I picked it from this low to high. We had a 236 area that we didn't hold. So you see how the fibs kind of work out there. They kind of give each other confidence. So I'm just throwing that out there. What first led my eye to that point, but then. All right, well, it is 3 o'clock. It is time for Joe at Trade Intuition to go live and start sharing his alpha. So that's where I'm headed right now. I just wanted to come over here and see if we could get a few little quick setups since I had a little bit of time. Click that like button if you like this idea. I don't know. Sometimes we get into find some really cool things. Sometimes we don't. Oh, I gotta share this, right? I forgot to share this. But that is the game plan. I want to share this quickly over on the free group. I'll probably throw that link in the trading. Throw those links out there in the chat. This is the Flux Daily Long Idea. Price entry at a Alright, it's not a typo. Alright, we posted that. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And I don't know. If you can't hit that like button, that does help. It does help the channel out a lot. I usually don't like to ask. I usually have somebody else ask for me.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'll see you on the nightly stream about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Where you're so graceful getting to that end screen. Watch me.